welcome to Bornford Plays a Demo of a Thing. I am not going to be able to get Bonnodachi Life on release day, but I did play the demo, I did have a lot of fun. So here are my various screenshots and videos from that. For my friends who have already shown the screenshots on the Discord, there's going to be more additional content in here, which is the videos which Discord wouldn't allow me to upload. So I hope you still enjoy. First off, here is a me! This is my previous me I had on, back when I first got a Nintendo Switch. Every time I do, I make a different me of myself, because I have face blindness, and I legitimately don't know if I've made my me in any way accurate to what my face looks like. It's like my best estimate from looking at every individual trait individually. I think I've still got a remo to my 3DS one on my Nintendo account. If I find that, I'll edit it into the video. Born in the future, I have only just now realised I was getting the mole on my lip the wrong way around. I've wondered how it would look in a mirror on the first two, and then the final one, that's the right direction. That's gonna be 15 years of my life I didn't notice I made this error. So anyway, this is the same me I had before and everything else, and I just kind of shuffled around the places on the faces to fit this new hairstyle we have here. Oh, fun fact, this is not actually caused by the hairstyle. I figured it out when I was getting those images for my previous versions. This is just what happens when you load an old me in a modern system game. Sometimes they just randomly shuffle the position of the things down the face. For some reason, the first one I made was okay, and the second one had my mouth fall down. And I guess it still affects ones made in the first year of using the Nintendo Switch compared to later games. Anyway, it's an easy fix, just push it back up again. But that's one tip I can give you guys. Where it says front and back on hair and when it says sets, those are two entirely separate sets of different hairstyles with things that aren't included in the other one. I didn't realise that, so this is me doing a front and back hairstyle. And later on I'll show you the one I had in the sets, which is the one I had in the previous games, and etc. But anyhow, I thought it'd be a waste if I didn't use the face paint option at all, so I decided instead of going with that, I'm gonna just draw my cartoony eye style like I tend to do. And I realise it looks kind of weird with still the rest of a normal me styled face on. So here's a version with my art style from tip to toe. But with kind of a bit more of a shine in the eyes. It didn't look very good being just plain unshaded circles, but obviously the rest of the art style in the game does have shading. Mine does not, because I am bad at art. It's me, I non-binary. I'm genuinely so fucking thrilled at this game. It not only delivered on the promise for years and years that they would put gay options in the next Bonnodachi Life, but there's also trans options, and it's pansexual, bisexual, being arrow ace, all of these options. They also added the create with prompts feature, which is basically just doing a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon style personality quiz to fit together what you kind of think your face would look like. I think it doesn't really work very good. The only use it has for it is here's a base you can kind of work on to actually edit into something that makes sense. Because the big flaw of the system, at least how it is in the demo, I don't know if they'll change it in the final versions, you can't see what all your choices are doing until the very end. It shows you the result of every single choice, and then it's 5 of these things are in the wrong places now, what do I do? If they had just had a running counter on the side of and this change has made your me change in this way, then you could just backspace and fix the one thing. Anyway, this is what it thinks I look like. Cool Easter egg that if you make your character have the same birthday as the island watching character, the person who is you in real life, then they'll actually notice, oh hey, we are the same person, aren't we? And that's cool, because in the previous games, you were always the lookalike. It was just called the lookalike. And here it's optional if you do or do not want that to be. Your first me doesn't have to be yourself, but you get bonus dialogue if it is. You can also edit in your own custom name for what was previously called a lookalike. You can be whatever you want. You can have them call you boss or master or god or whatever. And I just thought, I want my me's to call me buddy. I want us to all just be regular pals. I don't want to rule over anyone with any iron fists. I want fists of gelatin.
Buddy, I'm glad I met you.
Oh, that made my heart feel so warm. I am friends with myself now. I wish I could achieve that in real life. Self-confident I am not.
Talking to yourself gets old too. No offense to me, but I need to work on my material.
My channel in a nutshell. I just really liked the phrasing of this little tutorial for petting the me's. Try putting the cursor on Bonford's bonce and giving it a little ruffle. A pat, pat, pat. Also, it was surprisingly hard to get the eyes to line up to exactly the same shape and outline as the glasses, so do the optical illusion effect I just draw myself with in my art style. I thought this would be a good reaction image for every time I can't shut the fuck up about Dr. Snap. Speaking of which, here he is. I spent so long drawing this so long. I had a really hard time with the free touchscreen control on the face paint because I have really shaky hands and bad depth perception. I was surprised when it made it way harder than using the old Metopia editor where you couldn't freely draw at all. You had to just put pieces together. It genuinely took me longer to just draw a plain eye in this. I gave up on adding too many more extra facial features, so it's just his eye and his rosy cheeks. And then it was so disappointing that it turns out, by drawing a custom eye, now he can never emote, he'll never blink ever again. Because in Metopia, you could actually set, like, I will draw on an eye, I will draw on a face, and then they would animate like an eye and a face. Here it's just one layer for everything on your face. So another thing I do wonder, I hope maybe they can fix that in the final version as opposed to the demo, or like, even if it's a DLC at some day which lets you draw a custom eye, that'd be nice. Everyone's been recommended, you can kind of draw an eye using parts from other eyes to make like a fake eye to make it emote, but I would have to erase literally everything I've drawn here and start it over from scratch. I'm like, I don't want to do that. This took me like 2 or 3 hours. So the tip I have found of people that I can relate to is use a stylus instead of your finger if you have a really hard trouble with your finger, because that's the big problem here is the cursor for drawing is larger than your finger would be when you're actually drawing on the touchscreen. So I just keep bungling it so bad, but a stylus is actually the right size. Anyway, here's what he looks like underneath all that. I had to make a slight bit of asymmetry where I erased one of the rosy cheeks, because there was an odd clipping error where it would go over the shadows underneath his hair. I guess they just didn't playtest well face paint with this particular hairstyle. Oh, incidentally, I'm really happy that there is this particular hairstyle. There's literally Dr. Snap hair in the game. Great, wonderful hype feature for me and nobody else. I want to be friends with Dr. Snap. I could just talk to Bonford forever. This is just pure wish fulfillment, the game. You can hang out with all your favourite characters, you can hang out with your OCs, you can hang out with your friends you actually have in real life, you can hang out with a celebrity you want to be friends with, or literally anything you want. And the first thing that Dr. Snap did to me was run over and start telling me about his grandiose dreams for the future, which I choose to believe is he's just, hello, we've only just met, I'm gonna make a monster world and turn everyone into giant zombies. Do you want to be pals?
I became friends with Snappy thanks to my vast trove of monster trivia.
Accurate to real life. Me and Dr. Snap being friends. It looks like dear Bonford is into a monster, which I always look for in a conversation partner. And this is like the best successor to capture images. Select Dr. Snap's real-world grandchild. It me. Everyone is my Grampy now. I'm gonna make an island collecting Grampies. I feel almost embarrassed by how much fun I'm having with this game. Also a very good reaction image. I can post this after I don't shut up about Dr. Snap. He is so powerful that he can overcome the Apple debuff. He looks so cute in the hat. I love how it layers weirdly over the hair. And then we just hung out and stared at the stars. I like how you can zoom in more and take little screenshots, but weirdly enough, this was a limit of how far you can zoom in. I couldn't get a better shot of him, like, right up. I was rotating around to get the best angle, so again, I don't know if I'll be fixing the final version or if it's just a built-in camera limitation. And here we go, this is the point where I realised I was doing the wrong hair. Here is one in the full set section, which I think is close to what I have in real life, but like a bit too long. And if we compare that back to what I had before. This one has got the right length and the right choppy fringe, but it's not poofy enough to the sides. If only I could merge these together in some kind of mad science experiment. I just found it interesting how they handled holding a character over an object. Like, you don't go fully transparent, you get the transparency background from Photoshop.
Snappy, how goes it?
Every 5 seconds the game is making me go, oh! And then he just started running in circles, like Naruto, for about 20 whole minutes. Pretty damn in character. And then our final team member for the demo was Karen from Pokemon. Note how this looks nothing like Karen from Pokemon. The prompt system just could not handle him in particular. This is the best I could do with editing. By this point I was kind of really burned out from how difficult it was doing the face paint editing. I didn't know any of the tricks yet because I was playing this on the day that the demo first came out. So I went for all default me features for him, and it's just a kind of stylized version of the silly way I draw him in my art style. I also didn't have exactly the right colour for his hair, which is, unexpected. It's like a really precise, like greyish, pinkish mauve, or a greyish, purplish mauve, depending on whether you're talking the game on the anime version. Oh, incidentally, I have made a big graphic of every single different off-model version of Karen because I've been digging into his early sprites in the Pokemon Giga Leak. Anyway, I couldn't make any of these. So in this one I went with, let's have a 2 striped hair, and it'll be 2 kinda close potential colours from that big long list. Here's where we go with light purple and grey, and here is light pink and light purple. I think it's kind of close as well. It's like, that's a bit too much of a bold pink. It's not a mauve. I end up going for this one anyways. I like how the gradient looks. It's kind of rainbowy. And he is short. Literally the first thing he ever said is about how grumpy he is and he doesn't need friends at all. I'm not bothered at all by eating Mike's sad man ramen in the corner. And then the second thing he did was fall down and immediately need help from his friends. I had actually way too much fun wiggling him around. It is too fucking cute how a short me will jump for the food if you hold it too high. Oh, that's criminal. He's so grumpy he shouldn't be allowed to be precious. All of my headcanons are being enabled by the world. It also feels kind of cursed to see the maximum happy reaction on him. The first good day that Karen has ever had. The first time he has smiled about anything other than an evil, fiendish plan. Because, I mean, we do have a smiling version of him in the anime only, but it's in the context of him making this weird meme face for his computer virus. I got an event with flipping a coin. I was just impressed how well the face paint shows up on the graphic of you as George Washington. I wonder if that would change between regions of the game. Like, would it be a Japanese king in their version? Or is it just always an America reference? Because, I mean, I'm playing on the Europe version, so I have no clue why this is here. I want to be the best at something. Doesn't matter what. Kind of sums up Karen's character arc. I will immediately somehow find a way to prove I am the smartest and most ultimate scientist, become super famous and get all the money. By the way, I'm the lowest ranking of the 4 commanders, just didn't happen to mention that. Nobody find out, please. It's legit just so fun to see your favourite characters have silly interactions. Of course, obviously, I'm making a mad scientist. I might put some other characters in there too, but it's mostly going to be all the mad scientists I like from every stupid little game I've ever played, and I'm going to have so much fun. I also really love the little quirks system. I'm so excited to like personalize every little animation. This one obviously for him. And then the accursed clothes shop came and ended my demo. I didn't know this is the point when the demo ends and you can never interact with anyone again. Lots of other people had a lot more fun with the demo, continuing on, seeing loads more scenes for the entire time between it and the game releasing. If you just never go in this shop and never buy the clothes, it never ends. But for an ominous foreboding of hell, it's a very funny one. So this is where pants come from? Shirts! Yum! And Karen looks really cute in the cliche old grampy pajamas. The animation is also kind of weird. I wonder if it's decided by the characters' personalities. It definitely felt like a very, I am emotionless, grumpy robot man kind of way of getting into a bed. I was also super happy I managed to select exactly the right outfit for him on the first try. Obviously he likes cliche little old man fashions. Dr. Snap did not actually like those though, but I couldn't find any nice pink outfits for him to wear in what was available in the demo, because it seems to be randomized every day, and I didn't know to just pause this here and come back later because I didn't know the demo was going to end. And ending this up on just the bizarre, weird, liminal events you get to see as a preview of the final game when the demo closes. Me when the hyperfocus comes back.
Did you call?
And I genuinely have no words for it. I don't even comprehend what context this could possibly appear in the final game.
I've been looking forward to this fried prawn all day.
I love the attention to detail with a tiny outfit though. And thus we shall end here, the chronicles of every Grampy Island. Actually, I just called it Neverworld Island because, like, it's a land of monster characters that I like. Maybe I'll work on it. Maybe I can make a good grandpa pun. I had a good time. That's great. I think I'm definitely going to get this game when it comes out, when I have the money for it. But until then, I shall vicariously watch all my friends enjoying it. And you guys can vicariously enjoy me enjoying this in the past about 5 days ago by watching this video that you're watching right now. Hooray!